It's a special big episode of Hunter's Podcast, that Hot 2 episode. Today we are going to do the HHN 2024, HHN 33, Halloween Horror Nights Orlando. House and Scare Zone ranking. Are you ready? I don't think you are.
No.
I'm not ready. She's not ready. But let's see what happens. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, Hunter Podcast proudly presents to you its 2024 HHN House Rankings of the Year. It's the one, Brooke Hilton.
That's me.
It's the badass Zach Hilton.
That's
and we are the Hunters Podcast.
Is Wonderful here?
No. All right, guys, we have a big one, but we have special guests I would love to bring in. First, I'm going to bring in the original Review It, Rob.
Ooh, welcome. Thank you for bringing me in there. I created a new Review It, Rob, where he actually does video versions of his show now.
I saw that.
I've watched it.
That's what I mean. That's what I meant.
I saw that, you know?
Well, it should have been like, I've seen them.
Well, Rob, thank you for coming on and giving us your listing so we can make the final 2024 ever HHN ranking. But you're not alone. We're going to bring in the guy who was chilling out with us at HHN, going through some spooky houses. Mm-hmm. Let's bring in Horrific Network's own Jimmy.
What's going on, guys? What's going on? It's my favorite show, favorite time of the year. I'm sad that this is the last time. I guess it's up to Rob and I to carry the banner, but for the last time, it's the Haunters Podcast HHN ranking. I'm so excited to fuck Zach's night up. You have no idea.
You have no idea.
Yes.
No idea. Well, you won't be the only one to F up my evening, because we have friend of the show, my friend, your friend, the Theme Park Network's own Matt Wade.
I thought we were covering Orlando's #1 theme park Halloween event, SeaWorld's Hallow Scream.
You're done, right. It's on a billboard.
It's on a billboard. You're lying. You're lying, SeaWorld.
That's the Patreon episode, is that?
I feel bad. I applied for a job at SeaWorld, not getting it.
#1 House Mermaids. All right, so this is the rules and rankings and all that you need to know for this. This is going to be a wild episode. This ain't the normal stuff, okay? I'm over here with a nice Blinky Cup beverage. Bam, 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 bam. We got to do it. We got to do that one.
I have an apple crumble.
You do. So shit's going to get wild. We're going to rank scare zones. We're not going to wait for everybody. You just list off all 5 of your scare zones, 5 to 1. And then we're going to do house rankings. Everyone's going to do 3, 3, 3, 3, then 3, 3, 3, and then 2, 2, 2. 2.
And then 2, 2, 2 again.
2.
Yep.
Just 2.
And if you followed that, congrats.
Thank you. You get a special prize at the end of the show. All right. So I will start
our rankings.
Right, exactly. That's the special gift. You're welcome. It's the gift that keeps on giving, clerk. All right, here we go. I'm going to start with my scare zones.
Okay.
There were only 4 scare zones at HHN this year. And that is so weird to me that they would advertise 5. And there's only 4 scare zones.
They named 5.
So #5, the entrance of HHN.
Duality of fear.
The entrance of HHN.
Chainsaws.
Well, you have to do tickets, and they boo you when they do the ticket.
Yeah, when you find out your ticket is not accepted.
It's not valid.
Did you ever see the surreal chainsaw people? I only saw the sinister chainsaw people.
There were different ones?
Yeah, apparently. fucking denounced to me, yeah.
Unbeknownst to us, but beknownst to Universal, there were. So number 5, the entrance. Number 4, the swamp zombies. Number 3, Blumhouse. Number 2, Torture Fair. And number 1, just because I wasn't ready for that middle surreal thing, Surreal was my favorite
Demon
scare
Queens.
zone. Huh?
Demon Queens?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Demon Queens. Surreal. Brooke, would you like to go and tell us your 5 through 1?
Duality of Fear, which is the entrance. It's my 5. 4 is Torture Fair. 3 is Swamp. 2 is Blumhouse. 1 is also Demon Queens.
Okay, I
They
can
got
get
all
behind
up
this.
in my face.
All up in your face about it, and I love that for them.
Yes.
Rob, we brought you in. How about you? What are
Sure.
your 5 through 1?
I will continue with number 5 being the entrance, also
The
known as that
entrance
really
of
tall
entrance.
arches with the 2 characters who are kind of Mighty Morphin Power Ranger villains, but
Fucking
not as good as
posters.
Mighty
The
Morphin Power
posters
Rangers.
on the page,
Holy
yeah.
shit, they are Rita Repulsa!
Yeah, but not as
That is, I want a side by side of that. So clip this
Rita Repulsa.
and put a side
Holy
by side.
shit.
Okay, thanks.
After 2,000 years, I'm free! Time to take over Universal!
Yes.
I don't know. I still think Jimmy's rendition.
Oh shit! And then fucking the coin guy from Islands is like, Alpha, give me fucking
There you
give me
go.
some 5 Rangers! And then fucking Universal chooses the most like
We're gonna cause the shutdown of
Holy-
AJ10.
It's their original characters. They got goblins.
No, they got they have the Mighty Morphin Woke Rangers, and it's all
And you're done.
everything is like.
I just ran into Dominion's world. I was like, this scare zone's kind of tame.
It's a state.
I got a
Holy
cupcake and I got some bananas. It was fun.
It's bada time.
Right.
Oh man.
Where
Okay.
you're
Rob,
making-
you're number 4.
Oh, yeah. We're still
Where
doing
you're
that.
making your fucking choice, dog. You're sinister surrealing it on Minion Avenue.
Yeah.
I just turned and kept walking. I didn't know I was doing anything. Let's see. All right. 4, Swamp of the
goddamn.
Dead. 3, Torture Fair. Demon Queens 2, and of course Blumhouse 1 for me because I am an IP guy.
Boom! You're damn right. I'm an IP guy. I love it. All right, let's go, Jim A.
I gotta say, on the last night, Rob, fucking IP guy, looks at Zach and I and he's like, Insidious is an 80-minute wait. Triplets of Terror, shittiest maze of all time, is a 40-minute wait. Like, IP to original, bitches. Well, motherfucker, after you left, the gap fucking, not only did it fucking shrink, Triplets ended the night at like an 80-minute wait, and Insidious was a 30-minute wait.
Lord.
Oh,
I
how the
almost sent you a
turntables have
picture.
turned.
Oh,
Anyway,
anyway,
I hate this.
fucking scare zone.
All right, give me, hold on, Jim. Give me a minute to get my list because Brooke had to leave for a second. All right, give me your scare zones, 5 to 1.
My number
Oh, she's-
5 scare zone is the hotel guest only entrance. to
Hotel
Halloween
guest
Horror Nights.
only.
Oh, that's a good one. That's good.
Okay, good
That's
job.
my number 5.
Okay,
My number
number 4.
4 is the swamp zombies.
Swamp Zom.
Number
Swamp
th-
Zom.
Number 3 is Blumhouse.
Okay.
And number 2, this was where it got fucking close. Number 2 though is the medieval one, and number 3, or I'm sorry, number 1 is the mind fuck that is Demon Queens. Like that fucking scare zone, dude. Honestly, I felt like strongest experience scare zones have been since COVID.
That was the best.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can get behind that. It seemed like it had the most, but that was the best scare zone there since Vanity Ball. Hands down.
Yeah, 100%.
No.
Matt, new to the show.
You guys aren't gonna like my list because number 5 is Demon Queens, just because I went through it at the very beginning when it was completely light and there were no scare actors. And I got to go back.
I forgot to go back.
I'm forgetting something. I remember saying something at the beginning of the night. Then I like the one where there's a big sign that says Halloween Horror Nights because it makes a great photo op.
Okay.
And so
Dan, you like the HHN sign more than the entire Demon Queen zone.
There were Demon Queens there?
No.
Didn't see it. Saw that sign though. It was great. Same sign. I really
He just saw a lot of
photoshopping it on
purple
my
portals.
photos.
Is all he saw. He saw purple
That's all I
portals, and
needed.
that was it.
And not even that. There weren't even any smoke machines.
Oh,
3 is Blumhouse because it's Blumhouse and seen it. And then 3, number 2 is I think I just wandered off property and into proper Florida because it seemed like I was just in Florida. I think it was at a Florida Publix. There's just zombies walking around and they didn't have shopping carts. Just trying to get pub subs. I think one of the zombies actually said, "Do you have a pub sub?" And I was like, "Cool, this is just like living back in Florida." And number 1, Torture Fair, because it's New York section. It has to be the best, right, guys? It's always the best.
That's what the internet tells me.
That's what they all tell us.
also, huge shout out to the scariest of zones that got thrown away like after a day. The Wolfman zone. That got thrown out.
Oh, yeah.
It was so scary.
Pour
They
one
threw it
out.
away real quick.
Hey, rest in
It's so
power,
scary
King.
it killed John Amos.
Dude, I've never seen anything put out there by Universal. Fuck Halloween Horror Nights. Just anything that they've ever done where they put this out and the fucking reaction was so fucking sour and shitty that they immediately pulled it from both coasts. Get the fucking thing out of here. Get it out of here. Jason, I'm sorry. We gotta mute this fucking thing. It's over. Get it out.
So much so, they didn't even get rid of their merch that was literally peeling off, and people were bitching about it. They were like, no, we'll still make money.
Baby, the stage is still up there like a fucking monument. Like I'm waiting for people to put teddy bears and flowers and shit on it, like the fucking actor died.
This is the company that did that West Coast David S. Pumpkins, and they didn't pull him.
No,
Man, you
that
gotta
one
go.
sucked. Yeah, what the fuck?
How fast can you do it? How fast can you do it?
But honest to God, I don't even understand why it left. Like, I get the idea of, okay, they didn't show Final Form Werewolf. They just gave us whatever they gave us. But, like, you guys didn't pull that stupid Dracula house when it had nothing to do with that movie. So I don't understand. Outside of we live in a social media world and social media ruins
No,
it
that's
all.
literally-
You talking about Dracula Untold?
Yeah,
Dude, what a fucking house that was.
nightmare,
Huh?
nightmare.
What a
Everything's a
fucking
nightmare. All right, so should we list
Yeah.
what we have already? All right, so give us
yeah.
the Hunters Podcast Scare Zone listing from 5 to 1.
Number 5, Duality of Fear.
Okay. Entrance.
Almost by a landslide.
Oh, nice. Very nice.
That's the worst. Thanks, Matt. And then number 4, Swamp of the Undead.
Okay.
Ooh, spicy.
Number 3 is Tied.
Okay.
So I guess technically you could say second place is Tied.
Okay.
Like Tide Pods or
Hold on.
Tied for second place is Blumhouse and Torture Fair. And then first place is Demon Queens.
Oh,
But
okay.
what I will say is that first and second place are tied, are very, very close. Like,
Right. No, I enjoy those because I do feel like it's whatever you prefer for the second place.
Mm-hmm.
And then Demon Queen came out of nowhere, or whatever the fuck the zone's called, but good for them.
is.
Huh?
That's what it's. I looked it up.
Demon Queens?
Yes.
Demon Queens, yeah.
Good for
100%.
them. Good for them.
Thank you, Jimmy.
Yeah.
I'm not saying you're wrong.
Got you. I would say that the Blumhouse thing may have been higher in my book, but I caught that thing like we had said, Zach. Like 80% of the time, there was no one in it.
Yeah, it's weird when it happened that way, but I guess I got enough times to have good experiences, like a couple of times with Mathregan
Yeah.
coming up in there and taking
I think
pictures
that's
with us.
really like the
The black
experiences
phone
that I had.
grabber.
That's
It
the
was
latest.
good.
That's the latest drama too. You guys
Right.
mentioned it. You guys, that photo you guys got and you, Rob, got. That's going to be an HHN like collector. Oh my God, you got to do this thing because I think they pulled Megan, bro. I don't think Megan is coming out.
Really?
Most popular
What?
part of that zone is not coming out.
I'll
I
have
think
to.
I think it's. I'll be curious. We'll see what happens this week. She was not out last week because people are. That was the thing. What are people pissed off on Twitter today about?
What's today's? Oh boy, oh boy. God damn! I'm glad this show's ending. All right, let's
The
go.
strike.
Let's get into houses. I guess I'll start this bad mammy jammy
Yep.
off.
So you're going 10, 9, and 8.
10, 9, 8. All right. Well, number 15, Triplets of Terror.
Okay.
And
Damn, are we
before
allowed to do that? Can we
and
do?
before that
No.
is the Universal Bathroom. Before that's Twitter. Before,
Oh God.
but
really?
in all transparency, number 10 is Triplets of Terror, because that house, no matter how much the internet, and that's what really made it worse. When I went through it, I was like, okay, it was a house I went through. And then the internet decided they thought they were cute. Well, fuck you, internet. It's number 10.
Looking at
Number
you, girl
9.
with the glitter shirt.
Number 9, Museum. Sorry, Rep. And number 8 is Monstrous.
Oh, okay.
Those are my 3 at the bottom. So, Rob, go ahead. Give it to me, baby.
Okay. Number 3, or geez, 10. Number 10, I have Triplets Terror, of course.
Okay.
I did have a battle for a little bit with this, but I watched some walkthroughs. I'm like, yeah, I understand why I don't like this house more. Plus, it's like you mentioned that the people on the internet calling it the Wyatt house, it's the annoying as hell. I see nothing Wyatt-y about that house at all. But yeah,
They
that
wear
Also
masks.
very disrespectful.
They wear fucking masks.
It's
Good
disrespectful.
for them.
It's disrespectful.
Takes place in a house, Robert. Calm down.
Let's see. 9,
A
this is
fun
the
house.
controversial part. Sorry.
Okay.
I have
Yeah.
Quiet Place at 9. That house, honestly,
Wow.
Yeah.
as many times I went through it and as many times I've watched the walkthrough since, as it does nothing for me.
Okay.
Like, I don't know if it's because I'm not a big fan of the IP or what, but I just watched that house and I'm like, the animatronics are cool, but other than that, I'm like, okay.
No,
Okay.
hey, I understand.
And then number 8, I will go with Goblin's Feast. I like the facade. I like the big hand that never moved but once, maybe. But
I
other than
swear I
that,
saw it move. Swear I saw it move.
people swear it moved, but I don't think
They
it
were
did.
Guy
flashing.
at the other end was like,
They were flashing strobes on it, and then they had the one fucking. You disrespect the ancestors. That goblin was over there like tap dancing by it, like.
it wasn't a strobe, Jimmy. I did the behind the scenes. It's a security guy doing this in front of a flashlight. Don't you? I did the behind the screens. He was
You
doing this.
didn't.
Disco
did
hand.
it?
No.
Disco hand.
Oh, that was behind Publix.
No, fucker, I was in that house from behind the screens. I did it. Fuck you. I got a picture with the hand.
Yeah, but see, he did the RIP tour, and that's what he told him on the RIP tour
This
is
is
how they
true.
make that thing look like it moves.
Oh, shit.
Got you. So was that your 1098?
Yep.
All right.
Yep.
Matt, give it to me, baby.
So my number 11 is Triplets of Terror. I can't put it in the top 10. I'm sorry. I'm giving my 10 spot to Dead Coconut Club because it was better than Triplets of Terror.
God
Would've rather
damn
been
right
in
you
there.
did. Okay.
And something's weird about that house because they were talking about it weird in the RIP tour. They were talking about it weird in the behind the screams. They were saying that like they went after an IP and then decided that they could do an IP better. I don't know what that IP was, but you could not do it better if that's what it was, unless the IP was like Ice Cream Man or something.
Strangers Chapter 1.
I don't know. And they wouldn't just come out and tell me what they were like, no, we thought we could do it better. Something fell apart. They're lying.
Well, they already had a sweets factory. They didn't want a second factory house, which was Diddy's oil factory.
Oh
No.
my God.
That would have been amazing. Very timely. I would have been like, oh my God, can you believe this hit right when we've been planning this for the last year.
It would have been Costco.
It's a fucking Costco.
Number 9 for me is the museum. Never had a good run.
Uh-huh.
Sorry, it looked fine.
Right.
There was a dessert in it. And my number 8 is A Quiet Place, and I wanted it to be better, but they would pop out and they would do their sign language. I would just say, I don't know what you're saying to me. And then monsters would attack me.
Bingo.
They'd be like, shh. I was like, what? What's happening?
Plus that Like as soon as you walk into it, you're shoulder blocking the wall the whole time because you can't see until the thing's supposed to scare you. And you're like, okay.
Right.
Right, yeah. I'm going through a dark tunnel and then immediately I'm in I'm just in the water.
Right.
They're like, you're not supposed to be in that water, sir.
Like, please, things scare me so I can see where I'm walking. Thank you. All right, that's it.
Universal. When you choose between sound effects or the fucking like nail-piercing screeching of the girl's hearing aid, choose the fucking sound effects. It's okay. Give me some sirens in the distance sounds, or give me some other sounds other than having to hear ring, ring every fucking corner that I'm taking.
I think half of my problem with that house was that they hyped it up as this amazing experience, and it was just another house. And people popping out and doing this. Oh, cool, Silent Square.
So that's what I was going to say.
That was a good scare, though. It was a good scare.
Well, in Hollywood, the ASL was used. They were fucking
there was a
going to
lot
town.
more ASL.
Where I felt like every run I got was just this.
Yeah.
And
I felt like I was set up. It was a bait and switch, and then I didn't get it.
Yeah.
So
there's nothing scarier than that room we walk
like,
into.
what are they
with the boat
signing
just
for
floating
people?
around,
Like,
and then
holy
people are
shit,
breaking
we're
glass.
fucked? Like, what are they saying? Like,
They're just, for me, they were just pointing to the big monsters. I was like, yeah, I know.
that thing's gonna fucking rip you apart. Oh.
It's okay. It seems pretty static. It's fine.
Go through the ceiling. Go through the ceiling.
God.
All right, what about you, Brooke?
My number 10 is Triplets of Terror. My number 9 is Museum. And number 8 for me is Goblin's Feast. I kind of agree with Rob on Goblin's Feast because I thought that it was really pretty. But I was just, I guess, more so like grossed out by a lot of it. Not necessarily. I got some good scares like randomly, but when I kept going through it, I was able to literally be like, oh, I know what's going to happen. Oh, I know what's going to happen. Oh, I know what's going to happen. And so I felt like it was a lot of like cookie cutter for an HHN house. And that just wasn't enough for me. But I will say, if this was one of your first times at HHN or even some of the newer times at HHN, I definitely could see it being higher because it had some really, really pretty aspects.
Right.
And some good things in there, but some of it just didn't, like some of the scenes I felt like they put in there, but didn't always make sense for why it was there either.
Okay.
Other than to just be like, look at this pretty thing that we put in here. Don't you think that this is fantastic? Or I just felt like it was also trying to be, what's that stupid, the Dead Man's Wharf? Wasn't that it? Yeah. I felt like that I was getting pushed that a lot, and
like that's what the poster said from the makers of Dead
Yeah,
Man's
it did. It really did.
No,
It just
it's
didn't
wild.
hit it for me.
It's wild that you say that because the same guy did the mazes. They told us on the tour.
Really?
Yeah, the
But
guy.
see, that's what I'm saying. I felt like that's what they were trying to do, and it just didn't hit the same. Like, there's nothing like, you know, as much as gripe that I had about that house because I didn't feel like the scare aspect was there, it was hands down beautiful and gorgeous, Dead Man's. But for me, I just felt like they were trying to replicate certain things, and that's, I've already, you know, already done that. I want something.
Well, I think, and also Dead Man the story was very, very simple. So you can figure it out and it's fine. When I did the behind the scenes, and I just spoilers, my Goblin's Feast is way higher. They explained what they were trying to do with the story, and there's like a lot of little nuance in there that you're just not going to get. But once they kind of explain what they're doing, I'm like, oh, well, this is a better house than I can figure out on just one run through alone.
That makes
Right.
sense.
Well, I will
But
say.
then I feel like this should have been in the RIP tour. But that
100%. 100%.
We did not get a lot of.
Well, in
as
fairness,
much
that's
backstory.
also our person.
Yeah.
Just giving us and it's no knock to them. I thought they were fantastic in what they gave us, but you could tell it was like, here's the script, learn the script, do the script, instead of giving us your character of, oh, this goblin fucking feast is awesome
Blah,
because
blah,
look
yeah.
at these human bowls, you know, something weird.
Well, and there's little things too, because
I did mine.
you go in and like there's a menu board, and at the bottom, the thing that's the most popular are something like neeps and taters or something. So it's like vegetables and potatoes. They're not even eating the people. It's not even that popular. They're actually like sacrificing the people so they get better crops. And none of that is really explained if you go through it. So.
Okay.
Oh, well, that makes a lot more sense.
So
All right, so
now-
then
Yeah,
now
but you
we
need to be able to
Jimmy's.
tell that story visually and not just have,
Right.
because you're not going
It
to be able to
can't
have
just be
a
a
tour
backstory.
guide with you. Yeah.
Right.
So, funny enough, my turn? No,
Jimmy.
Jimmy's turn. Didn't Jimmy go?
No, I did not yet.
Oh, I'm sorry, Jimmy.
No,
Go ahead.
Yeah, no.
Do you want my Tom Atkins bullshit before or after?
Sure, go for it.
Okay, so I got 2 mazes for you. The first one, titled I Am Weird. The classic line in the fog is an understatement as you experience the weirdest nightmares Tom can conjure. These monsters will thrill as this is a full touch experience. By Tom Atkins.
Touch me.
Or
Touch me.
Touchy.
or this is my personal favorite.
Okay.
Case Files - Thrill Me.
Bro, yeah, it's on the show. This is a house not only you, but me and Rob made
Okay.
individually. So tell us yours.
Black and white maze based on Tom as a detective tracking down both killers and monsters. But the caveat being he's also tracking these monsters down against HHN lore favorite Boris Schuster. The maze ends with the only bit of color being Schuster's blood as Tom Atkins guns him down in front of you.
Jesus
Oh, God.
Christ. Okay, ours is a little different. Ours was Tom Atkins was playing Boris in a movie, but then it's meta because it was real. So kind of like the Chucky thing.
I got you. Yeah, mine's
Nice.
different.
Yeah, no shit. You got daddy. Yours literally goes, I'm human. Thrill me. Kill. All right. Nice. I love that.
So anyway, my number 10 maze then?
Yeah. Yes.
All right. My number 10. This is where I told you I was going to fuck shit up. My number 10. Listen, Rob apparently was in love with this property. I don't think you have named it yet. It's probably going to be Rob's number 2. Maybe his number 1. My number 10, museum. My number 10, museum Deadly Exhibits.
Okay.
Never had a good run through it. Even when it was fully staffed and I could tell it was fully staffed, I was still like, whatever, this sucks. Number 9.
Jesus Christ.
Number 9. Number 9 is actually Zach's fault that it went from 10 to 9 after he told me the full behind the scenes story, the backstory. Made me love the family, made me appreciate aging with the family a little bit each time. I felt like I was going on a cinematic journey with Junior as he went from spry young lad putting a knife through his father's stomach to an old crippled man putting a knife through that old man's chest. I was with him 100% of the way, but it is my number 9, Triplets of Terror. And then my number 8 is also the fucking screeching of batteries dying on the earphone. That is the fucking Quiet Place maze.
Wow. I'm not gonna lie to you. I am absolutely taken aback about how far down Quiet Place is.
Take it all the way
Wow.
back.
All
Take it
right.
all the way back.
All right. That's fine. That's fine. It's all good. All right. So
765.
765. I will say for this 7. This is wild to me because what you guys were talking about with Goblin, the thing that I dug about Goblin was how storytelling it was. Like when you listen to that Universal podcast, I did get some of that stuff, Matt, because they went thoroughly into it.
I forgot it.
Then this house, that's the Goblin's not it. Number 7 is Internal Bloodlines. Because not only did you make me listen to that fucking podcast that was supposed to ramp me up for the story I was going to get, the podcast ended up being the fucking house. This was my number 1 anticipated. Then when you listen and you find out more detail, like how it's all women led, it's all women writers, it's all women fucking being the people, and you kill motherfucking Frankenstein monster, what are you doing? You're absolutely lucky this is not a number fucking 10 because there's good visuals in this house. You do not you made Bride of Frankenstein's live house mean nothing. The entirety of it, of her entire fucking of getting this guy alive, means absolute dog shit. You fucking Star Wars episode whatever Last Jedi piece of shit house.
I resent
Number
that.
7.
I resent that remark.
That was
Number 6, Goblin's Feast.
God.
And number 5, A Quiet Place. Rob, you're up. Go.
right.
Still recovering from Universal Monsters: The Last Jedi. Jesus.
Fucking Universal you killed fucking Frankenstein's monster. The mummy and fucking wolf woman have no reason to be there except to kill Frankenstein's monster. You fucking pieces of shit.
Oh my god.
Fair enough. Wow.
So Rob, what is your
Oh man. Oh man.
Okay.
Number 7.
Let's see. 7, Monstros, the Monsters of Latin America. That was really cool. Could use a little bit better, but that was really cool. 6, I will go Universal Monsters Bloodlines. I'm not going to go into it as you did, but it's not as big as the other Universal Monster houses I've been through. This is the first time I got the Bungie scare of the character coming at me for once.
I did get
that. Was cool. That was cool. I like the art in the house more than I like the actual house.
Mm-hmm.
And then number 5, I have Major Sweet Candy Factory.
What? What'd you say?
6.
Number 6?
No, it should be 5. Monstros was 7.
Oh, okay,
Universal
5.
Monsters
Okay,
6.
okay. Sorry. Yep, got it.
Nope,
So
3.
5 was Major Sweet.
Saskia sucks my balls. Matt, would you like to go?
This one's gonna hurt me. I'm prefacing this with I can only rank these houses by how good my runs were.
This is outside the top 5.
100%.
And I think that these 3 houses
no.
are purely because I couldn't get good run throughs. My number 7, and this is the sequel to my number 1 house of all time, Slaughter Cinema 2. I couldn't get a good run through. I was missing all of this. I just couldn't get a good run through. And I feel like the bones were there.
Right.
But I couldn't get a good run through. And Lauren got better run throughs than me. And they usually ignore her because she's walking through like I live this every day.
This what does it for me, pal.
My number 6 is such a big heartbreaker because it's number 1 on my unmasking and just I loved spending time. It's Ghostbusters Frozen Empire.
Ooh.
I had such a better time without monsters being in it. There was and I will list it off why. There was a static Slimer every time I went through.
Oh,
Static
interesting.
Oh.
He's just sitting there. There he is.
Huh.
Cool.
We got a movie.
No Vigo. No Vigo.
You never got Vigo?
No Vigo. Now they explained to me that they switched off between Vigo and someone else.
I know.
I forget.
It's not the Scalaries, is it?
It might be because I think I saw a Scaleri.
I don't know.
It might have just been a fat guy that was in the boo hole.
That was me. I snuck into that house. That was me.
It was the fucking electrician from
If it wasn't the
Ghostbusters
Scaleri,
2.
it was like one like the Scaleri, like fucking fire hydrant ghost or whatever the fuck.
Right,
Yeah, it was like that.
Yeah. Now walking through and behind the scenes, loved it. And there's so much detail that just you can't see. So many of those little marshmallow men. I had a weird looking Ray. That kind of threw me off. I was like, look, I don't know.
I think everybody got weird looking Ray.
He had a Publix name tag on. What was up with that?
You're not.
Needs to be in your fucking store. Put weird looking Ray on a fucking shirt.
My number 5, which you know what? None of these houses are bad now. And you know what? None of these other houses. Honestly, anything past Triplet Stair, they weren't terrible. Oh, and the museum was great. But these aren't bad houses. Major Suites was cool. Yeah. Half of it was cool. And then the other half was you're in a factory now, and things are going to be slamming in, and there's going to be lots of metallic noises.
Yeah. Yeah, you're not wrong. Okay. All
Done.
right. Let's go, Jimmy.
Okay, so number 7. My number 7 was Monstrose. I will say I like that's been brought up. I appreciate the behind the scenes tour of it. The scenery was pretty dope. The animatronic of La Chuza was cool. Up close, being able to like take pictures and shit. The maze just didn't really scare me, but we're to the point now where I didn't have a problem with any of these mazes.
Right,
I get that.
So that was my number 7. My number 6 is also Universal Monsters. This wasn't necessarily because of anything wrong with it. I don't have a problem with them killing Frankenstein, because all that's going to do is he's coming back. Like, they will at one point bring Frankenstein back. I would bet my fucking house on it. Like, there's no.
And I will bet you that the bride is going to bring back Saskia and not him.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Oh, I believe it. I could see it for sure.
If we get a bride house, it's just her bringing back Saskia. I'm gonna be so angry.
And then the whole thing.
I hope.
And the whole thing culminates at HHN 35, and it's been this post-COVID to HHN 35 fucking story. That's pretty cool.
I heard 35. They're bringing back COVID.
Please.
I'm gone.
Less crowds,
It's just
please.
COVID.
I still got all those masks I had to buy. We're good.
And it's in a white suit with like little red fucking things all over it. It talks like Rita, and fucking Rita, make my monster grow! And fucking it gets big, and then Stay Puft comes.
You
and
see the Power Rangers behind me.
Fucking Saski's like, come on, bride, we can beat him. And then they fucking go. I love it.
Universal, you got Transformers. You can get the Power Rangers. Get them over there. Hurry it up.
My number 5. Oh, fuck. This is the point of which I will say this very much is the HHN of highs and lows. Like, I've never been to a Horror Nights this many consecutive days before, so I never saw such extremes of like the greatness and the absolute dog shit that in night Halloween Horror Nights could be.
Right.
That being said, fucking line management team, if you have not by now, get your fucking shit together. Right. Like, oh, we're overwhelmed. There's too many people. Suck my dick. Suck my dick. Like, figure it out. You're managing a line. Yeah. You're literally telling people where to stand. Suck it the fuck up and do your job. Figure your shit out. You're fucking.
You don't want to end up like Frankenstein's monster, do you?
That being said, here's the compliment sandwich. That being said, my number 5 is a very nice maze. Even though
It's a house.
A house.
Yes, a house.
Sorry, God.
Get your branding right.
Goddamn West Coaster.
Right.
Just
John
how-
Murray's calling them houses now too. You got no excuse at this point.
My point being that this house was an amazing experience once you got past the shitty crowd management experience that was the wine.
Can we say that you said it was a very nice house? And I'm like, oh, it holds the door open for you and
Very nice
compliments you when you cook.
Very nice house. Santa's in this house.
Oh my god!
Got a complimentary
so
mint.
There's stripping in this house. Like, what life experience, think about it, are you going to have Santa Claus, strippers,
Oh yeah.
robots,
Oh yeah.
zombies,
Oh god, keep going.
and a fucking Mardi Gras bachelor party experience,
You mean besides my bachelor party?
Shark.
all housed within the same building?
Don't forget the shark.
That, I have no doubt, has been replicated, but it's pretty hard to do.
But
So-
what about the shark?
The shark, when there was someone manning it, was super dope.
Hey, it worked for me 90% of the time.
When the
Yeah.
lights were not on it and no one was moving it, it was cool to look at, kinda.
Cool, look at kinda.
Didn't you feel like Steven Spielberg? The fucking Shark Network. Okay, I'm into that. Number 5 is Slaughter Cinema, though.
Number 5.
All right. All right.
All right, my number 7
Yeah.
is Universal Monsters.
Okay.
Some of the same gripes. But I mean, it was still like, it's hard because I do feel like even with number 7, like it wasn't the worst house ever. It's very hard.
over exaggerating. Honest to God, like besides triplets, I had a ball in every house. Every house had a scare or something designed well. It's just for a property for me, for Universal.
Yeah, well,
it's
something
my
that you're
number
very
one
passionate.
house almost constantly. And for it to be number 7 is kind of like, what are you doing?
Right.
Well, it
my
also
num-
sets an expectation, right? And
Yeah.
and they're telling a continuing story, and then they're like, well, this year we're setting up a hero who is literally just there to push the female monsters.
Right.
Well, don't worry, we're gonna get her head off. So that's
Right.
kind of disappointing when you look
Yeah.
at it as a collection of houses, and then you get to that. It's hard to take it alone.
Because it was
Right.
my number 1 anticipated going into, because I dig the story. I've said it on the show where it's like, I watch horror movies all the time where the leading lady gets away from the killer. In this fucking house, spoilers, her head gets chopped the fuck off. So what the fuck are we doing killing the hero and killing Frankie? And now we're going to put the fucking head on Sasuke's body?
Excuse me.
Fuck
Behind
outta here.
behind the screams, they said that she was only there to push those female monsters. The only reason she was invented.
This is
And they're gonna
fucking
bring her back. And they're gonna
wild.
bring her back.
They gotta bring her back. She's
They gotta
fucking
bring her
Nev
back.
Campbell. Why wouldn't you bring her back?
My number 6
6.
is
Just kidding.
Monstrous.
Okay.
I think, okay, so I will say that there was, again, no bad run through or anything like this. I think my issue was, and it kind of hurts this house in a sense, is that I did watch after the fact of the walkthrough in Hollywood because so many people raved about it so much from the year prior. And I was like, did I miss something? And I was like, that's not even really the same house. So I felt like a little let down by that in a sense, which I don't necessarily think is fair, but it is what it is. Number 5 for me is Major Suites. I loved the story. I thought that it was a really good original. I liked from what they did from taking it from the scare zone to a house. I thought there were some really good things there for me.
Agreed. All right. My number 4.
4 and 3.
Number
Just only two of
4,
them.
Major Sweets Factory. I enjoy it. I think it's a better place to last all year instead of Fast and Furious. So if they just want to keep it open, I think you should. I think there's creepy stuff inside it. I like some of the animatronics, the vomiting, the taffy rolling. I think there's neat monsters. Then my number 3 is Slaughter Cinema 2. Wildly enough, Slaughter Cinema is the first house we've ever reviewed on this show, and apropos that we get to talk about it on its end. I enjoy every individual room, and I know you can't make a complete house out of everything, but I think there are some winners in this. And like I said, we got Zombie Shark or whatever the fuck, and I goddamn love that I finally got a Jaws house, ironically, that's been screamed about on this show since the beginning. So the fact that they gave it to me, winner, winner, chicken dinner. All right, Rob.
Yes. All right. Number 4 is Slaughter Cinema 2 for me as well. Or, well, you had a 3. I had it at 4. I had a really good time. I didn't get to do the first one when it happened. So I was excited they brought it back. I had a really good time with every single room, like you mentioned. Even walking up. I know people have complained about how loud it is. But walking up and seeing the trailers that were playing and all those noises and all that. And then going through the houses. They made a freaking stripper mummy. I mean, what else?
Oh, my
What
God.
else do we need? So
What else do we need?
What else do we need? And just honestly, bonus, walking behind you through that house and you freaking the freak out at the Jaws part, I was like, this is the best. Like, this is amazing. So that's
Like a
4
kid.
for me. And then number 3, I went Ghostbusters Frozen Empire. I liked the house a lot in 29. This house felt very different. It felt a little more serious, a little scarier. The main villain freezing everything in the house was really cool, especially the facade of seeing the the freaking fire department go up
Firehouse.
and for ice was incredible to me. So I have Ghostbusters at 3.
Nice. All right, Matt.
Yeah, from here on out, I feel like, except for my number 1, these could all be interchangeable. I just had really good experiences. My number 4 was Monstros because I got it hard outside. There was a guy on stilts that got right in my face and almost knocked me out.
The guy from fucking Poltergeist 2? Yeah, he's creepy as fuck.
Fantastic. I love that.
Is that the one that called my name?
Mm-hmm.
No.
Ooh, I love the bar. I a lot of dead babies. I licked that flan. It was fantastic. My number 3, even though I have every single problem that you have, I have with this house, is Universal Monsters, Eternal Bloodlines. There were a couple of things that worked really well with me. One of them being the that one scare, the daisy chain kind of scare where Saskia hits the she-wolf with the bolt and she gets bungeed back. It was fantastic. I don't like some of the choices they made, but the house itself, the gypsy carts themselves were fantastic. I mean, they were beautiful. And that outdoor scene that you go through, the beginning facade with her at the graveside, beautiful. So I think the set design won me over. The scares won me over. The storyline, I would have wished they would have gone a different way with it, but what can you do?
100%. 100%. All right, Jimmy.
So my number 4, this is like the benefit of being spoiled and getting to do both, because these guys, you know, when they rank them, the IPs are higher, and I always do the originals usually higher because California doesn't have the originals. Now they do have some, but so that appreciation of the originals being something like more special, because Orlando was not always a ready thing. You know, that was very much a careers are settled and an adult being able to afford to come out to Orlando every year. But Hollywood is very much split a room with your buddies, like college thing. Mm-hmm. And so those originals are special to my heart. But that being said, a franchise that's special to my heart is Ghostbusters. And this maze definitely fits within the good and bad storyline of the year, because good, fully staffed, effects all working, people all in the right spot, ghosts all in the right spot, getting fucking Drago in the cell, getting Slimer in the right spot, the fact that it's an alive person as Slimer, the lights all work, all of that maze was a lot of fun. Also seeing it in like a cast change with like 15% of the people where they should be, it was a mess. And I was like, I need to do it again, because to judge it on that was not be fair, because that was right. So that's why it's my number 4. Taking pictures in the tour, super dope. So set design is awesome. The best scares in it from a maze, not Insidious, in this house in that frozen room. Both the Garaka and the firemen got me good. So yeah, my number 3, because it is the fucking pier guy, he knows the way to Jimmy's heart. So my number 3 is Goblin's Feast. I saw this maze and was in love with it from the time we did it together to the last time I did it, because the cast is fucking fun. The whole thing is fun. I didn't even notice until doing the tour, the behind the scenes tour, in that one room. If you look up, that's where the giant troll statue in the fucking castle is. Yeah. Like, I would have missed that completely because of the scare actors in that room getting me like every time. Like, this maze, it's no coincidence it's designed by the Dead Man's Pier guy, because like Brooke said, it is awesome looking. There are details that you can only notice on the tour, which is unfortunate. It's like the fact they take the time just for that tour essentially is pretty cool. Yeah, that's my number 3.
Sick. Brooke?
So for me, my number 4 and 3, and really honestly 2, could very easily be interchangeable at this point, because I think they're all pretty great. So number 4 for me was Ghostbusters. I thought that It was beautiful. I was taken away by seeing the firehouse. Like I literally was, and they did a great job because I was in awe, and then like snow is falling on me, and then I get scared the shit out of me all at once by a daggone
Baraka.
yeah, still walker. Oh, asshole.
Baraka.
But there were some like, and I thought the little marshmallows were adorable. Like I said, there's no, I can't even say anything bad, and I feel like saying it's fourth is bad, but it's really not. Like it's very interchangeable. It's very one that I would say, oh, I have to. If I have one more night at HHN, this is one of the houses I want to go through. So it's just, unfortunately, there were just other things that kind of hit me more. Again, I think I had with Slaughter Cinema too, going through the first one and having the connection there and being able to see a sequel on something that I don't think when they did the first one, they thought that it was going to be as much of a hit as it was, enough to make houses from it. So seeing this was amazing. The only thing that I will say negative about this is that, and you're going to lose your mind when you hear me say it in a good way, that there was no merch. What the hell?
Yeah, where was the merch?
Where was the merch for this house?
Where's the fucking merch for Slaughter Cinema?
Yeah. I just thought that there was, what I liked is that you could go through and have like fun rooms and rooms that you were like jamming out to, and then you also got some really good scares. And some rooms that you would walk into and you would just, it made you like happy, but you still got those good scares, and you just loved being there.
Agreed. All right, my number 2. Look, you guys have said everything that needed to be said. I will just say that I think this was a perfect mix of comedy, horror, and for a house that I wanted to love, but from promotion, they just fucked from commercial to merch. But somehow the house was damn near perfect for me, which Ghostbusters Frozen Empire, because yes, I was going through the movie, but I was more so in the Ghostbuster universe. It was like, you know how Ghostbusters Frozen Empire, there seems to be that kind of thing that's missing in the movie. The house somehow figured it out where it's like, oh, let's just make Ghostbusters with this movie.
Yeah.
Not Ghostbusters 2, not Ghostbusters After. Like, we're going to make Ghostbusters in Frozen Empire. And they fucking nailed it through the sewer, through the firehouse, the bad guy, all of it. So it was really good. And my number 1, unbeknownst to me, but Insidious is probably the most frightening thing I've ever gone through since Cabin in the Woods and Evil Dead and Halloween, and the fact that it's up there. Like, it's not my favorite house of all time, but I think it could be top 7, top 10. It nailed all the demons, and I love that I wasn't in just one movie. I was in through the franchise, and it made sense. It felt like, it's like one of those things when you ride Universal rides, the Green Gods, like you're placed in that world, and you're in a sequel that only a few people get to live. That's what we got to do with this house. Rob!
Gotcha. All right. Well, my number 2 is a house all of y'all have poo-pooed throughout this whole freaking thing right now. Which is fine. That's the way it works. It happened to me last year. It's going to happen to me every single year.
I enjoyed the house. It was just, that's where it's placed on my list. That's all.
That's fine.
I'm not like them. I don't think it's bad. I'm just saying where I had it.
I get it. It would have been my number 1 if my number 1 wasn't my number 1. But
gotcha.
Number 2 is the museum deadly exhibits. I had an absolute blast throughout this whole house. I like the idea. It's the closest I'm probably going to ever get to a Warren's artifact room, if I'm going to be honest with you. It's the rotting stone being brought into a museum. It's taking over all the other artifacts within the museum. It's getting you. I got scares from every single corner in that house. I guess it was bad runs for y'all. I don't know. But for me, I adored that house like I was expecting with my anticipation list. Number 1, I mean, what else can you say? Insidious is one of the most best put together houses I think I've ever been through. If it was just one movie, maybe it wouldn't have been as great, but the fact they added the whole franchise into this one house worked very well, and I agree with you. It's one of these scariest houses, even myself, who doesn't get overly scared with these houses. That made me a little frightened throughout that house.
Right.
That house was very well done. And I mean, even at the end where they got all three of them coming at you, I'm like, okay, wait a minute, where am I going? Like, help me out here. So, Insidious number 1 for me.
Nice. I love it. All right, Matt, what you got, baby?
Number 2, Goblin's Feast is just fun. I loved it. I thought it was fun. I thought the sets were fantastic. I loved it. Again, I think it was helped out by just going on that Unmasking the tour, the horror tour, and and being able to spend more time in it and just to really kind of see how much work they put into it. And then, okay, my number 1 is I don't even like these movies. I think I've slept through most of them. I don't even think I saw 3 and 4. But that Insidious house is so well done. It was not. I don't even think it was high on my my anticipation list. In fact, I blew my anticipation list. I thought I was gonna like Triplets of Terror at number 2. So yeah, what could be said about Insidious? They take final rooms and put them like 3 times in that house. So I'm like surrounded by people in the further, and that is the scariest thing you can do is walk through 50 different mannequins with knowing that like 2 of them are going to be scary. There's rooms in that place where the lighting changes and you realize you're surrounded by people that sell scare with the mirror, and there's somebody jumping out behind a post. Bravo, because that was perfectly put together and worked tremendously well. The lighting, the sets, everything, A+. Amazing house. It's probably in my top 5 of all time.
Nice. Awesome. Jimmy?
So my top 2 are very much IP versus original. Like the perfect examples of what the best of Universal original HHN content could be. And then the best representation I would imagine of a film like that I have ever been through, easily. And so it's hard. I honestly did not know which one I was going to go with until listening to you guys talk about it more in all of this. But my number 2 is what has been since COVID, since being able to go every year, make a thing out of this. My number 2 maze, I think really since the Icons one, is the best representation of an HHN original. This maze was a lot of fun. Major Sweets Candy Factory. On the tour, they tell you it takes place one day before the scare zone at HHN 31. And that's cool and everything. You don't need to know that to enjoy one or the other or both together. This is just a fun maze, and it's a cool sensory overload maze of what makes everything HHN fun. A spoiler alert, if you go into the room that's Major Sweet's office, if you see a red light on his desk like a laser pointer, try taking one of the candies from the candy dish. That was something that I had no idea about and was told on the tour, and then went and did it, and it happened, and I was like, oh shit. So do that.
Nice. Very cool.
But man, do this maze multiple times and you'll notice how much detail is in it. I'm talking from the assembly line working to the taffy being pulled to Taffy the character, but the amount of sensory overload stuff seriously is HHN at its best. This is the kind of maze that I saw on the fucking Travel Channel, and I was like, one day the goal is to get to HHN Orlando. This kind of a maze. So that's why Sweets is my number 2.
You know what? I'm putting Major Sweets up to 2. You've convinced me.
Wow. Okay.
You have it as 5.
Yeah, you have it as 5.
Hey, I don't know what to say.
Okay, so
how not to mess with our system? Make it number 10 for me. Triplets, you move it up. I'm kidding.
Break my Atkins maze higher than that. Come on. Dude, so that being said, going HHN LA, you see them at their best when it comes to movie representation. Everything Hollywood has, they put into the fucking Texas Chainsaw shit for whatever reason. That's John Murray's jam, and it's a damn rad maze every time they touch that franchise. But to that, you also see the shittiest HHN like could be, hopefully, knock on wood, it's not worse. So then you kind of have like an appropriate gauge. So then you go to Orlando and you see them do like Haunting of Hill House, and you're like, holy shit, unbelievable.
Unbelievable.
Yeah.
I have never been more scared knowing the maze by heart. I
Yeah.
still have never felt like I have felt at any haunted house consistently every time. Like
Yeah.
you can hear it listening to my podcast. You hear it in my voice as I'm going into the maze. Like I'm like, like here we go, Insidious. Like, it is a scary maze every time. The fact that when you go into that lipstick demon's lair and tiptoe through the tulip is going, and there is only 3 human beings that are delivering like 9 scares to you, and all of them are always in the right spot. That is mind blowing. The rate of people that are going through that fucking room, those guys are hitting 99.9% of the time. I've never had an HHN experience like this maze. Fuck this maze. The further,
Fuck this maze.
dude. Fuck this maze. All the further there is, guys, is mannequins and mirrors. That's all that's all it is. Why is it as scary as it is, as much as it is, every fucking time you're in there? Because of the music, because of the cast that's been fucking with your head the whole time, and the level of just uneasiness that your body is in this maze. I've never experienced anything like it. I don't know if I ever will again. Kudos to whoever did it. Kudos especially to the cast. Kudos like all the way around. As shitty as a time as it is to get into this maze, again, line management, even with Express, worst I think I've ever experienced in my life. I'm talking the line with Express. This maze is on right behind Ride Rocket.
Yes.
So the express line on Sunday night was to the like exit of the tribute store.
Jesus Christ.
Wow.
So I don't know what's going on this year with that, but that's got to be fixed. That being said, the execution in this maze, unbelievable. It has to be number 1.
I don't even think I would go through that maze alone. I would go through any maze alone. I don't think I'd go through that one alone. I can't even tell what that feeling is. I don't know what they're doing. They're pumping in some sort of hallucinogen.
Well,
Or I was huffing a lot of paint too. That might have been it.
I do feel that the movies give that same vibe off. You could say what you want about the movie, story plot wise or whatever. There is an unsettling evil and uncomfortableness through it.
For
and
sure.
knowing that you're going to see every single icon from those movies show up, and what they did perfectly is you've been waiting to see the lipstick demon Darth Maul. They use them so frequently and awesomely, it's unsettling. And then when you think you're out, because they designed that last room to look like you're just exiting, and then you enter a room where they're all there. And I forget who was around me, but there was one where the lipstick demon like jumped out at me, scared me, I ran, and then he pointed at me.
Oh.
Fucker pointed at me.
Oh.
And I'm like, this
You don't
ain't
need that.
right. None of this is right. So I agree. I think this is just goddamn perfect. And this is why Triplets of Terror will win House of the Year.
Yep.
100%. So,
And
tell
none
me.
of this is right.
Best cast, The Rabbit Man.
Okay. For me, number 2 was Quiet Place. And I say this because
Damn.
I went into this house and I was like, I am not going to scream. I am not going to scream. And you're talking to somebody that when we walked into Major Suites and the little rat came out, I screamed bloody murder. The guy in front of me was like, yeah, this is what we're going to do. And I was like, yeah, this is what we're going to do. We're going to scream.
This is the night, Ted.
So
And
I went in.
RIP guy just kept walking.
I went in, I had my mouth covered, like I was like, I'm gonna do this. Like I'm going to beat this house. And I failed immediately. The room that we all talked about, which was my first interaction with any of it, I was underneath where he like jumped out, and I screamed bloody murder, smacked my body against the wall, and I was just done for. And
Who
I
are you
just
talking about? Who did this to you?
you remember in the hallway, the black hallway, and you were just waiting for the light in the quiet place.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yes, okay.
I was right there. Like, I was right by my face. I didn't see it going in, so it was completely black. I was like, what the hell is going on? And it got me right away. And I just loved the scenery throughout it. I felt like the progression through the movies were really, really good. I thought that it did a really good job. And I lost trying to be quiet. And I will also say that because I was covering my mouth, I was not able to cover my ears, which I do a lot of going through the houses because sounds get me really bad. So I was not able to do that. So I was really able to take in a lot of the sounds, whether or not they were even similar to, and they weren't, to other houses, because it wasn't as loud. I just really got a lot of good scares in there. And I would have died multiple times if this were the real movie.
Oh yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
But really quickly, and I want to give props to this house. I know I have it lower, but the fact that the end of the maze is the ending of part 2, where it's the sequence back and forth, but at the same time, in fucking genius. Because I was wondering how they were going to do it in the house, and they blew me away with doing both at the same time. Usually you have to pay extra for that, God.
And then number 1, hands down, the scariest house that I've ever been in. The first time I ran through as many rooms as I could.
They did it.
I ran past people. Like, I skipped the line.
like she looked like the ghost. She looked like the ghost in the beginning of Real Ghostbusters, where he's like going through the trash and shit. That was her.
I sacrificed, like in the mannequin room, I sacrificed people I didn't know to get by them. And like, I remember when we got out, like, you guys were all talking about some of those rooms, and I was like, I don't know what happened. I have no idea. I ran through. And then, I didn't see anything. And then the second time we went through, like you said, there were points I was like, this is going to be a jump scare. This is going to be a jump scare. I remember this from last time. And it happened again, or in a slightly different way almost. And I was just beaten down. I hit the ground quite a few times. You and I argued in this house because of being so scared, and I was mad that you were drawing more attention because I just felt like I was being attacked constantly through this house. Like, you kind of said it earlier, it brought me back to Cabin in the Woods and Evil Dead, like that, those first, which were terrifying. That was the first time like I had gotten a scare from the ceiling. And some of those houses, and
we get one throwing up in this one.
Yeah. But it wasn't the same as like when those were. But it, for me, it's like a top tier house, one that I feel like will be talked about for years
at the end of the season,
years and years to come.
A best of 10 all time. On Hunter's last episode.
I will say for Insidious, the one thing that I will say for it, it does look good. It does. Like, it's not bad looking at all. But compared to even the lower of these mazes, set design is kind of simple.
It's simplistic. Yeah. Everything about it's simplistic.
Yeah.
It relies on what everybody loves to tout and talk about. It's the scare actors. The scare actors are why we're here. Well, it's for this house, it fucking is.
Yeah.
Because it's all blue and dark all through it.
Which is really kind of crazy, because what I will say is that, like, you know, when you do go through a house, you do give it the accolades based off of the set, and kind of like what you guys were saying, it was very minimalistic. And I consistently see it as people's number one. Yeah. Like, it's like, holy shit. And I mean, there's even people, they're like, I don't have this listed because I was too chicken shit to go through it.
You can't even close that big red door. I tried.
No,
not close
I will say, I do love the fact.
It just goes, they got your baby.
I do love like the perception
baby.
as you're far away that it's not as big of a door, and then as you get closer, it just gets bigger and bigger. Like it was like things like that are very simple.
Right.
I think that they did they knocked it out of the park. Which when you do something simple, you have no other, like you either knock it out of the park or it's dead. So it had the option to be a 10 or a 1.
You either are number 1 or you're SeaWorld. All right, let's get into this.
No,
what are you going to say, Jimmy?
I was going to say, like, the Unmasking the Horror person told us that next year they're considering selling it as a 3, 3, and 3 to make it more accessible for you to know you want Ghostbusters, Insidious, and Slaughter Cinema. You're booking this tour because people want to see certain mazes, right? And, with these tours, the next time to go through it, you look to your left and you look to your right. Like, how many people miss in Insidious once you walk through the red door, keep looking to your left because you're going to see the smiling mom in the window, and then the strangler guy hits you on the right, and then you walk into the house and the mom is there again. It's like shit like that you would not even know to look for unless you got lucky or you knew they were going to be there.
Listen, I love the Unmasking tour. I did it with Halloween. Was it last year or the year before? Year before. And what really shocked me about this one is like you did the 2, but the one didn't have an IP. I think that was a big fucking miss. I would have done the Unmasking if an IP was in it. But they treated that fucking Triplets of Terror as the IP. And buddy, I ain't peeing on it. You know what I mean? I ain't gonna do nothing. But
I think my issue, and we kind of said it before with the Triplets of Terror, is that, and Matt kind of even said it as well, is like they were acting like, oh, we need that Slaughter type house.
Right.
We don't need an
We
IP.
need a slasher house.
Yeah, the slasher
and why
house.
we can make one ourselves.
You
own 40.
I was even defending it because when I read, when people did the Unmasking the Horrors tour with it early, they mentioned that it was, this true crime podcast house. Well, that's kind of a cool concept.
Yes.
Double down on that. Don't double down on these dumbass triplets.
But also continue it through the fucking house.
Yeah.
It's literally one.
It's one
room.
room.
And then
it's
never
one
talked
room.
about again. Yeah.
I think you can hear it. And also, come on, man, don't kill a dog.
Exactly.
I don't think that was
fuck
needed.
that dog. Fuck that baby. Fuck any of them.
I'm fine with the babies.
Anything.
Yeah, if they're going to have that lady eating babies, they're going to have that dog dead as shit, for sure.
Yeah, fuck that dog. It's not real. It's not real. It's fiction.
Oh, no. You mistook. It wasn't real looking enough. Make the dog look really real, so I think you actually killed a dog.
Okay, there it is. I want Sarah McLachlan to go through that fucking room and cry.
All right, so
all right.
Our collective,
the Hunter Podcast voted HHN ranking. Here we go.
Number 10.
Okay.
Triplets of Terror.
Shocker.
I thought it was going to be that brawl at Busch Gardens.
Or the stabbing, one of the two.
I wasn't there for the stabbing. I was there for the brawl. It happened right behind
Allegedly.
me. Lauren's like, what's going on? Oh, allegedly, I'll tell you how alleged it was. It was happening right behind me. I was like, it's cool, Lauren. Let's just keep walking. Let those kids fight.
Number 9, Museum.
Okay.
Number 8, Monstrous.
Okay.
Number 7, Quiet Place.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Number 6, Universal Monsters.
Okay.
Number 5, Goblin Feast.
All right.
Number 4, Slaughter Cinema.
All right.
Number 3, Ghostbusters.
All right.
Number 2, Major Suites.
Okay.
And number 1, Insidious.
Absolutely banger of a list.
What was the number 3? What was number 3?
Ghostbusters.
And Goblins was 4?
Goblins was 5.
What was 4?
4 was Slaughter Cinema.
Slaughter. Dude,
absolute banger of a list. I mean,
I got no problem with that.
Say what you will. I mean, originals used well, IPs used where they should be, especially going through this with
Well, there was only 3 IPs.
Yeah, we don't count Universal
No, we don't.
Monsters.
No.
Trust me, that's an original story. Fucking
Can we
assholes.
count it Coconuts Club as an IP house?
Yes.
Sure, it's got
Flash
Blumhouse
was
in it.
there. Hung out with Flash.
Where would you rank, Zach? Where would you rank Dancing with Me at the Coconut Club compared to Triplets of Terror at the museum?
Fucking Triplets at Museum don't even touch the 3-man crew dancing in that fucking room, baby. Listen, I've never wanted to be a familiar more in my life.
You know what?
I'll try to dance better next time. I was just walking around y'all while we're dancing.
You look great.
Jimmy's rendition of opening ceremonies was top notch for me. And,
You have to message us if you want to see the opening ceremonies performed by Jimmy, because I have it on video. Guys, this has been great. I love this list. Matt, please plug everything before you leave.
I don't know. Theme Park Network, News Network on something. Probably YouTube. At TPNN Matt, but with one less N on Twitter, X, whatever. Go find me. I don't know.
Name, man. That's
With
long
a hard T. All
Hard.
right.
Too hard.
Jimmy, plug your stuff.
The Horrific Network. So horrific, like movie, is Horrific Network. Right now we're doing our haunt season stuff. So podcast with these guys at HHN 33 throughout the month. The behind the scenes tour stuff. And I'm going to Hollywood. And we got stuff from all over. So yeah, celeb interviews, all that stuff throughout the year. But Horrific Network.
Awesome.
I cannot wait to hear your review of Hollywood, because we did come home and watch the houses.
Dude,
so
so people are shitting all over the LA Insidious, saying it's like one of the worst mazes they've ever done.
I'm
super curious.
Hold your tongue.
All right, I'll hold my tongue. I'll just say Orlando did it right.
Yeah.
Rob,
I wouldn't say it's the worst though.
No, I wouldn't either.
I wouldn't go that far.
Rob, how about you? What you got, baby?
The Review of Rob show here on the Thrill Me Podcast Network just released a review for Never Let Go. And then I will be reviewing Joker Folie à Deux on the next episode.
Yeah, where's Speak No Evil, motherfucker?
That's coming out later this week.
All right, there it is. See, I set you up, you knock them down. I love it.
you go.
All right, guys, thanks for watching, listening.
What about me?
Plug your stuff.
I have nothing to plug.
All right, I'm plugging my Amazon ebook, What Happened to Frankenstein.
You do have an
and Where
Amazon
Is He?
movie.
That's
That's what I
perfect.
say.
You
It's
have
the,
an
it's the
Amazon
31
movie.
days of
That's-
Halloween. Plug your movie.
That's
31 days of
perfect
Halloween.
Oh, Killer Reunion
Yeah.
Bro. You can
God
see
bless.
Killer Reunion Bro on Amazon Prime right now. Matt's in that.
Yeah.
Matt, are you want to plug something?
Oh yeah, there's a little documentary I did called what is it? In Our Veins. The
In Our
Haunted Story of
Veins.
Red Veins. It
it's
is
so
out.
good.
It is off getting transcribed right now. I don't know why it hasn't gotten back, and it's about to hit Amazon too. You can also go to redveindoc.com to keep updated.
And also,
I guess I should probably update that site now.
Matt's going to film me as a hunter at Red Vein when this comes out this Friday. So if you want to see me as a spooky guy and Matt holding a camera in a haunt, come check us out. All
You
right,
probably won't see
gang.
me. I'm on the other side of the camera.
You're on the other side of the ray. Yep. Say the thing.
Stay spooky, my friends. Is that the?
Stay scary, my friends. Can you say stay scary, my friends?